like first things first, like just what does it feel like to get that Contender Series call up? Like in the moment, what was that like? How did it all go down? Would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, before my fight, they kind of let me know, like, hey, this is a big one. You win this one, you're gonna get that call. So I knew that I was gonna have to win, pretty decisively too, not just by a decision. So once I got that knockout, kind of knew it was coming. So it was just a matter of, when it was coming. And yeah, my manager called me with my promoter. They called me and I didn't see it because I was at practice, and I saw them. They both FaceTime me, and I was like, something's up. But I kind of had that
Yeah.
feeling what was coming, and so I called them back, and they were with each other in Vegas, and they just want to let me know that they're proud of me and that I got that call and to be ready. So they gave me that call, I think, about 13 weeks out, knowing for a little bit, for a little while, and it was just more ready for it. And it was, getting the call is nice, but what's really nice is seeing that contract and knowing that it's legit. Once you sign your name on that dollar line, then it's official.
Oh yeah,
Totally. And
definitely.
did you have any like suspicion that it was going to be, or like any, did you have any reason to think it was going to be Bogdan leading up to the fact?
I mean, they told me when I got the call that it's probably who you're gonna fight,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they kind of already gave me an idea, and you know how it is. It could always change. That's why I was kind of waiting for the contract to know, like, it was official who I was gonna fight and stuff like that.
So, Michael, from my understanding, I watched a couple of like your interviews before, and I know that you discovered jujitsu through cheerleaders, some friends who were
Right.
cheerleaders, and then you eventually picked up wrestling, and then you
Yep.
started competing amateur MMA at 17, and then
Yep.
you went pro 3 years later at 20, and now at
Yep.
23, you're faced with an opportunity to compete in the big leagues. So
Yep.
I just want to know, like, how do you manage to balance the normal experience of being in your 20s and also the rigorous demands of training and competing at a high level?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, for me, I've been blessed. Since I started so early at 17, it wasn't really like, I was having a job and having to do this. It was really just go to school and take care of your grades. And my parents were like, hey, you don't have to, if as long as you make good grades, then you can do whatever you want. All I really had to focus on was just school and fighting. So it was kind of nice. I would take off school, or even during lunch breaks, I'd be running during lunch breaks, and, kind of just, only having to just worry about fighting is nice. It's a blessing. A lot of people have a lot of other things going on in their lives and stuff. So, even when I got to my 20s, it got a little harder, of course, getting to college and, wanting to go out. I rushed to fraternity and stuff. So, I was, in a fraternity. So, of course, it got a little crazy. You want to go party and hang out and stuff. And,
Definitely.
luckily, I was an amateur at the time, so it kind of, got all that like partying and stuff kind of out of my system. And when I turned pro, I just knew that it was time to lock in, and I couldn't, do those things that other people are doing. It's more like I got to focus on what I got to do, and I got to make the adjustments and the life changes that I, need to get to where I want to go.
It's
Speaking on training too, I like specifically for Bogdan Grad. I know he's such an explosive guy, just big guy,
Right.
dropping down from 155. Did anything change in your training, like to prepare specifically for a guy like him?
Yeah, I mean, you're always trying to train certain things and just know that he's gonna go and he might favor certain combinations or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, we're training for everybody, because like I think I said this not too long ago, but if he were to get hurt, it's not like I'm gonna say no to the next person that's gonna step up. It's just gonna be like, yeah, like, let's take it, and now we're gonna have to. It's not like we got to get ready for him to fight. So it's like just being able to train for everything and anybody, and just being ready for any situation. And you can train as much for one opponent and then go in there and he doesn't even throw anything that you thought he was going to throw, or, everything's just different. It's a fight. For me, it was just, I worry more about what I'm doing and making sure that I'm taking the steps that I need to get better, and having to have him adjust to me more than me adjust to him, if that makes sense. Kind of be on my time and just know that it's my fight, and not let it be his fight. And of course he's thinking the same way. So, just making sure that I'm training, just making sure I'm on point, on schedule, and just making sure that my trainings are going well, and focused on just getting better at the end of the day. But for sure, we see some things that he might do a lot and he likes to do, and like you said, he's explosive and he's strong. So he's gonna come
Mhm.
out fast. He's been on the Contender, so he's gonna be coming out hard. So I know it's gonna be a fast fight, and we're both gonna be going forward. Both of us don't really take a step backwards, so it's gonna be exciting for sure.
And you
For
said
sure.
making it your own fight, and like, I don't know if you've seen that clip of Connor in the back predicting or how he was gonna KO Aldo,
Of course.
and like, do you have ever used like visualization for how you think a fight is going to go leading up to the fight? And if you do, then do you have a visual for how you end this fight versus Bogdan Grad?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm constantly visualizing, myself in there, just even the week of, just visualizing all, trying to take it all in. Um, but you could always visualize, how you think it's gonna go. And like I said, it might completely go a different way. And you know, even like my last fight, I was visualizing me knocking him out like that, but for it to happen in a minute, I don't know if I knew all that was gonna happen and stuff. But um, I definitely I see me and him just kind of just going at it, and the person who's gonna have the more will, and I think maybe second round kind of get him out of there around the second round. I don't really have a specific way I think or it's gonna go, I guess necessarily, but I know it's gonna be a finish probably in the second somehow.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out. Maybe hopefully the first, and we get out of there clean again, and no injuries
Yeah, I know that right hand is dangerous, so I'm looking out for it.
for sure. Definitely be on the lookout.
I work for a company called PredictionStrike. It's like the logo in the background, basically a stock market for buying and selling shares of athletes. And we actually do offer Dana White's Contender Series fighters
Yeah.
on the app. So like a couple days before your August 27th fight, you'll be up on the app. People will be able to invest in you. I wanted to know if you had to just like sell yourself to an investor, not only like ahead of this Bogdan fight, but just in the future, like your
Right.
aspirations in MMA in general. Like, what would you say about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only one goal, and that's to be the best to do this, and every day I don't see why I can't be. I see other champions, other people, other normal people like, me day to day, becoming champions and being the best. And I look at myself and I put in the work, and I have great people around me, and I don't see why I can't be champion. And I believe in my soul that I will be champion or be the best, fight the best. And I think I'm young. I got a lot of experience for how young I am. I've been around some great coaches, some great mentors, a lot of great training partners, especially in my young career. And I think I'm very intelligent. In the cage, out the cage, and I think I would be a great investment for anyone that.
I have a little bit more of like a lighthearted question. Um,
Yeah,
if you could fight any fighter in MMA history, past or present, who would it be and why?
MMA history too.
Yeah, like anywhere from the
Ooh,
past.
yeah. Um, I might have to fight Uriah. I think our styles match up, and we got to fight for our names. We both got the same name, so we gotta. He's a California kid, so I gotta
Oh
beat
yeah,
I gotta win for the name. I gotta win my
oh yeah,
name, get the dominance. And I
for the
like
whole
how he
state
fights,
too.
man. Yeah, exactly. Texas versus California, yeah, it's a big one. So that'll be a good one. I like how he's fight, coming up, and I mean, he's a fucking dog. And I even met him. I was cornering one of my training partners at the time, and I saw him at the PI, with training with Macy Barber and stuff. He's a cool guy. So yeah, Uriah would be a super dope one
I
for
love
sure.
that.
I think that'd be a banger fight too.
I guess just like back to like the sports stock stuff. Is there? I mean, outside of yourself, obviously,
Right.
I think you're one of the best investments that a person could make on this season of Contender Series. Is there any other fighters you would shout out as maybe someone like a young fighter, like good to invest in, get in on early?
Definitely Joshua Van,
Joshua Van. Yeah,
young
he's really
flyweight,
talented.
Oh
22
yeah.
years old, 3-1 in the UFC already. I mean, even had a. I was over there in Denver with him. Watching him just cut his weight. And he's a pro, man. He's a professional at 22 years old too, and he's only been in the game, he's only been training for like 3 years, man. So it's crazy to see how fast he's developing and what he's doing and the work that he puts in, man. Watching him, motivates me because, I'm thinking I'm young. I'm 23, thinking, I'm doing well, and my boy's 22, 3-1 in the UFC. So it kind of just pushes me to another level and just kind of motivates me for sure. To see him and see how hard he works, and to know that we're right there. And
Oh
we always
yeah.
tell each other that we're gonna be on the we're on the Fury cards together coming up and stuff. So as teammates now, we're excited and ready to be on the UFC cards together. So I think that'd be super dope.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And I guess a kind of a fun question here. If you had to, or maybe not so fun, who knows, if you had to like re-rank maybe like the top five in your division in the UFC just based on like who you see as
That's
like the biggest
good.
threat, how would you do it?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great question because I literally have been telling my coach, my coach is Daniel Pineda, so he's in that featherweight class, and I'm like, bro, you can beat most of those like top 15 guys. Like I know he's a little older on his way out. Probably back in his prime, he'd be killing it. But I think those guys are good, but I don't know. I definitely Ilya is the best for sure. I think that kid has crazy skills, man. Like he is legit. Holloway for sure is right there, of course. Volkanovski is, of course. I think those three are just solidified.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um,
We're
the
kind of
other
getting
two.
a bit of a Max Holloway resurgence here at this point in his
Oh,
career
I
too. It's
Yeah.
fun
mean,
to see.
he really was never gone. Like he just lost to Volk, but then every time
True.
he fought a contender, he messed him up, bro. Yair, he destroyed. It was a little closer on the Yair fight, but he still pieced him up.
Yeah.
Arnold Allen, he destroyed Arnold Allen. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he's always been good since he was a kid. But who would be 4 and 5? So 4 and 5, based on who's good. Do four and then Yair. Is Ortega going up or does Ortega? Hasn't really fought though. Mm, that kid that just fought's actually really good. Oh, you know who just
Diego.
fought that I think is really good? Number 4 probably would be like Gene Silva.
Ooh.
Yeah, he is good. He is really
That
good.
dude he's nasty, bro. Like
Yeah.
very. And I was in Denver, so I was, I was messing with my manager, but I was like, hey, I see Drew Dober needs an opponent, like I'll fight him, da 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 da, like. And then they ended up pulling up Gene Silva, who was also a featherweight, and I was like, bro, could have been me, But
Yeah.
Facts.
uh, so Gene, yeah, he looked really good. We'll put him at number 4. I think it's a sleeper, bro. He's like really good.
Oh, that's a huge
Uh,
sleeper pick, just like relative to the UFC
invest
official ranking.
if you want to put investment too, you can invest him on the strike.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
number 5, who else is there? Eminem, who's coming out? He's not that. He's kind of on his way out. Honestly, he's pretty good. As that Murphy kid is pretty good.
Zero Murphy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can put him at 5. He's pretty good.
I like that.
I like that. That's a pretty alternative top five right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
like that.
because like, bro, there's some people I watch, and I'm not like, not no hate or nothing, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone's good at, especially at this level. But I'm just like, bro, I feel like I match up pretty fucking well against these guys, like those guys, or like I'm like, oh, I would put up a really good fight, against those type of guys. So, but those 5 I just named would definitely be the toughest fights for me, especially as I watch. I'm like, okay, that might be. I might need a couple more weeks, to get ready for those guys, And but yeah, those guys are really good for sure. Even that kid that just fought, Damon Jackson, he's good. He's probably on the outside looking in.
Chepe. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good, and all of his losses are dudes that are in the UFC, and that was outside of the UFC. So
Facts.
yeah, that kid's solid too.
Yeah.
Or
No,
man,
he's
I don't
good.
know. I don't even know if they're kids. I'm calling people kids. I'm the kid. I'm 23.
Yeah.
So Michael, I've seen some of your fights, and like I know at least in like Josh Altum, that fight he had landed a step in elbow on you, cut you
Mm.
open, and I saw you just battle through adversity, just put the pressure on him and then just completely
Yeah.
outbox him for the rest of the fight. And
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to know like what is the toughest like obstacle or adversity that you went through throughout your career, and
Uh,
yeah, like what pushed you through it?
Yeah, I think, coming up, I didn't really have too much adversity. I lost my first amateur fight, and I felt like, man, I'd never want to feel like that again, But I feel like these wins and losses in MMA is so relative to like the world, right? Like we lose a fight, it's like, it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, especially people are struggling and hurting so luckily in the cage, I felt like I haven't really dealt with too much adversity. Of course, you're always banged up and hurt, but I think, the biggest one was when my coach passed during COVID. I was kind of lost a little bit, didn't really know where I was going to go, where I should be. That was the only coach I've ever had, and he trained me in everything. And, so once he passed, I was just kind of didn't know what to do, So that was definitely one of the biggest things. I just kind of had to just keep pushing for him and try to, you know, live through what we were talking about and, figure out how to get to where I was without him, and we had so many goals and ambitions and, they're kind of all been working out. I know he's definitely, looking down on me, helping me and been taking care of me. So, just trying to live out our dream that we built together.
Definitely. Shout out Metro Fight Club.
Yeah, shout out Coach Saul Solis, man. I mean, that dude, that was one of the OGs for sure, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about him a little bit before you hopped on the call.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, he was over there back in Pride. He started pretty much, the whole MMA in Houston, thing. He's ran his own promotions, and he was training Tito and Rico Rodriguez, and Cyborg would call him out to go and train him, and they're over there at Black Bear training. He's just, man, he's an OG. He was training. When Tito was on the Ultimate Fighter, he was there coaching Bisping and all those guys. So, I mean, you talk to those guys and they'll tell you that he's one of the best coaches that they've ever trained with. And, I was blessed to have him in my life for so long since I was a kid. And, he kind of groomed me and, he just seen something in me. And I didn't even know I was going to fight. I was just kind of in there just staying in shape. And I was doing jiu-jitsu. And he just saw something in me and he pulled me to the side. And if, he doesn't play around, he'll literally be like, that is fucking terrible. That's awful. That is god awful. Like and no filter. But it'll just tell you straight up, and really tries to break you, and see who's gonna be okay. With getting broken and getting beat up, and if you survive, then he's like, all right, you got my respect. You're good. And we just had such a good relationship, and me and him, like I said, I used to skip class and just to get one-on-ones with him. He would be at the gym early at 10 or 11, and I would just go to have a doctor's appointment just so I can go train with them. And I got so much just knowledge from him and just being around him and listening to his stories. It was such an honor, really truly to be in his presence and to be trained by him. He's such a legend. So, I definitely would not be where I am without him. I wouldn't have the foundation I have, and almost all the credit, goes to him for, the fighter I am for sure, and the mentality.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's my boy.
I know the Olympics has been going on also, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. Do you think MMA should be in the Olympic Games?
Hell yeah. They got freaking breakdancing in the Olympics. What the hell? But it was funny because I was just talking to this with my coach, like what American would be, what American would we send,
Definitely.
And he was like, John Jones. I was like, bro, the next Olympics is in 4 years. John Jones will be 41. Like, we can't send him. So, what O'Malley would be our best option, right, out of the champions?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what champion's American? And literally, none of them are American.
That's true.
It would be kind of
Yeah,
it would be kind of crazy to send O'Malley to represent the country. It'd be a funny look.
Yeah, that would be
But I mean, I couldn't think of another a better American. Who would you think we'd send? Like Poirier or something? Gaethje
I
or
was
something?
about to say, I don't know why it seems fitting, but Dustin kind of
Yeah,
seems like
Dustin. That's not a bad one. I don't think. I think that's a good one to send. He just
Yeah.
fought well against Islam. You know what I'm saying? So he probably would have a good. Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
If Gaethje didn't get knocked out, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
It's hard, dude. There's not that many.
I wonder who the Dagestanis would send.
Oh my god, dude. They're sending freaking Islam probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Islam
he would-
agreed to do it.
Him and Umar, bro. Oh, he'd be God. That'd be Umar, Mali, and then Poirier and they would just not destroy us, but
For real.
they
Yeah.
already got the one up on us. It looks like.
A little bit.
And like the Olympics, they could probably send. It'd be cool because you can probably guys that maybe wouldn't get a look or wouldn't, don't get the opportunity to get seen or stuff. You put them in the Olympics and make the Olympics almost like a way to get to UFC, I guess, or
Yeah.
that'd be cool. But yeah, definitely should be a Olympic sport. I think that'd be cool. I mean, all the countries in the world are pretty much doing it. You'd send somebody from every country. That'd be dope.
I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah,
I
I
just
feel
don't
like
know how
I can
you
see
would
that coming.
I guess you just have to do like a tournament or something to like get these guys to see who would get in, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the process would be or the whatever to do that. But that's not my job, I guess.
Well, I think I'm out of questions here.
Hell yeah.
You got any more, Monkey King?
Nope. I think I'm all set too. Thank you so much for your time, Michael. And,
Yes, absolutely.
And 9-1 fighter from Fury FC, fighting out of Texas. Good luck on your fight. And
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Or
August
Yeah, yeah,
27th. August 27th. Tap in.
yep.
16 days, boys. We're almost there, man. So we're gonna go get this contract, and it's up from here. So hopefully, I'll give y'all a shout when I'm done, and then after the
yeah.
fight, let's get it.
Let's do it.